All right, hello everybody, and thanks for watching YRLA. Today we have a great segment to discuss about the People's Party Convention, and I'm your host, Chris Rod. We have the pleasure of being joined by our Spanish-speaking host, filling in for Annalise. We have Sky. How you doing today?
Hey, thanks so much for having me. Happy to be filling in for Annalise. Big shoes to fill, but I'm gonna try.
No, yeah, you definitely will. I mean, we both watched the convention, and I really want to hear your take on it because we got a couple of goodies here for you guys. So this is a national convention in the same way that the Republican National Committee had it and the Democratic, except of course theirs represented the big corporate donors, and this was very clear to represent the people, hence the name for the people, for the People's Party, People's Movement. So, what they covered overall was to start a new party in America. And my fellow Americans, there will be a new party in America. Congratulations. Welcome to the revolution. Welcome to the future. So, this is done. And we just kind of want to go over what it is that was said, what touched us, and what the next steps are from this point forward. I mean, they had an amazing lineup, and I was really taken back when when I saw that. Like, first off, I think everybody said, "Whoa, like Danny Glover, that's so awesome." I didn't even know. We don't really think of Hollywood elites, if you want to call it that, as many do, to be somebody that's so that has like the information that goes along with with the people. And so, he was recognizing stuff like the climate change, like, climate change disasters, regime change, things that other people generally do not talk about, especially on a large platform. So, when we're talking about healthcare and employment issues, Danny Glover even mentioned something there about a vulgar focus returning to the marketplace. We're not even like discussing about like humanity and humankind, that there's growing fascism and that the urgency of now is needed to prevent a dark future. Sky, what was your take on all this?
I think having Danny Glover speak, I think since he's an actor, a known actor, right, and he's been an activist, having him there, I think it just shows how serious this movement is, right? But if I loved it, I was so excited, I was so pumped. If I wasn't already part of the movement for a People's Party, I would have joined, But I'm already in it. I really was just taken away as well as like from everybody's passion. I remember listening to the youngest speaker, right? I love her. That's parenting done right. That's something that I always preach about. How I think you need to participate. You need to involve your children. You need to at least once a month maybe go out and knock on doors. Of course, before this pandemic, right? Let's just forget about that. But knock on doors, or maybe do some phone banking, involve your kids so it can be embedded in them that they have to participate in this political process, right? So I was very proud of that young speaker, the youngest speaker that we had. There is just, I can just keep going, but there's just so many. Nina Turner, for example, I think she was the last speaker. Sorry, I'm so excited about her. I still have her passion in me, where she's, I want to slay some dragons with her. I really.
Yes. Yeah, no, I totally agree with you, because now what she's trying to tell you is like, hey, check it out. These are your enemies. They're straight up your enemies, and these are why. And the whole entire time they were trying to let, like, every speaker in their own way was trying to let you know how and why Biden isn't for you and Trump isn't for you. Like, we got to come together. And I like how Nina even said, look, I'm not gonna vote shame, because that's not where I'm here for, And there was a lot of stuff that was going on, including some that were saying, do not, vote for Biden or whatnot. And that may not be like everybody's, personal opinion or whatnot. But it was great that there was a platform here for all these speakers to be able to voice their opinions and not have to be told what to say or exactly how long it's going to be, for them to like keep their message short and concise, etc. That was fantastic. You notice that Chris Hedges mentioned something that actually spoke to me, because I am of the thought that, all right, one of the two parties is going to win. As much as I know how bad Biden is and I know how bad Trump is, the likelihood for me to vote for Biden at this point is high. But look, he said this. He said that if we vote for somebody like Biden, then we become complicit in the crimes that he is planning on doing, that he represents and that he supports.
Mm-hmm. Right, right. Yeah, man. I think I definitely appreciated his speech. I think this convention here was really for the people. It's so funny because Nick kept mentioning it on the convention that last week there was two Republican conventions, right?
Right. Yeah, there were two of them. Which one was it? Did we see that there was the DNC, the Republican one, or was the RNC the Republican one? They both had too many, and they were all.
The Democrat one had more. They had a lot of Republicans. I think speaking, which I guess they're trying to, bring them in our party and so forth, right? But what about progressives? There's a lot of progressives that are already on our side that could have easily, like, you could have persuaded them, hey, say something like legalize weed. Sure, right. I'll do it. Come on, like, give me something.
You know what's crazy about that, Sky, is it's like we now realize that they've been telling us we don't have any interest in you guys, and now you guys are getting rowdy and popping up. Oh, hell no. Now we're going to put, as many Republicans as we possibly can to come here and represent us, because no, we don't represent you guys. And we don't represent what you guys are standing for: higher wages and equitable healthcare and equitable racial justice and climate change. They don't stand for that. And they made that extremely clear. And I think that's why this came about, where we're like, no, we now have to create a convention for us. Right. Totally. Did you get the same take from that?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what else I was thinking about while you were saying that? Is just like the People's Convention today. You saw a lot of people that looked like me, a lot of people that acted like me. It was so diverse. That's what the United States of America is. It's diverse. It's not a bunch of, sorry, no offense, but not a bunch of older white men. And that's, you know what I mean? It's a different representation. Right. And we saw people of all genders there. And that was amazing, because that's what we need. Like, we don't have people that look like me in Congress. You know what I mean? And we essentially, that's what we need. That's why I loved it. It's a people's party. I was definitely motivated by every single speaker that we've seen.
Yeah, and they're very clear too about making sure that it stays for the people, that it doesn't get corrupted like the others. Because as I've mentioned before, that it's obvious that the Democratic Party, even though it changed during the civil rights era to be more for the people and working class, unions, etc. But since Reagan, and since they lost it with Carter, that they're just like, okay, and then they got bought out and slowly turned around to becoming right wing again. So really, I mean, I think that this is something that everybody needs to watch. Everyone in Los Angeles, it is important to see this, because instead of infiltrating their party, as was Bernie Sanders' original intention, and people came along, wrote along with that. Even I did, and that's why that's why we support Justice Democrats. And I still think that that's important. But at this point, the leadership has made it clear that that this is their house. That they're like, no, we represent corporate rule. We represent not giving crap about anybody else that's sideline minorities, workers. We don't care about you. We don't care about the environment. I can go on and on about that. They've made it extremely clear this is where we've got to back out of that. We got to back out of that, really. We got to say, no more. Democrats, you are not supporting us. So I really look forward to seeing what the new name is going to be, all that kind of stuff. How is it going to get formed? Yeah. I really, so right now it's like what I was saying earlier was that it's kind of in a cocoon stage. And now we really solidified that it's growing in there, and it should be forming into a beautiful butterfly, because 99% of the vote was in favor of the new party at the end, which was a neat little part of what they were doing to get people to vote on their app. And then they mentioned at the end that they're never going to compromise given the corporate rule. Just want to state that again, because that was great. You're talking about different. Go ahead.
Sorry, I think that's super important, because a lot of people, the reason why I feel that they are discouraged with political process is because you used to think that Democrats were the good ones, and then they get corrupted, right? Then there's some politicians that use progressive in their name, they get elected, and then they're corrupted. So then people, of course, why wouldn't people get discouraged? And I totally understand that. That's one of the thoughts I had when we were forming this party is like, how can we screen these candidates, right? Like, how are we going to hold them accountable that, hey, once you get in office, how are we going to be sure that they're not going to turn on us? You know what I mean? Because we can't let the people down, because then like, I would be very disappointed if, again, we let them down, right? And so so that's the reason why we're forming this party, is because of that, because of those that are discouraged, those that haven't voted for over 20 years because they're like, forget politics, right? That are just not into it. Like, not everybody loves politics like you and I, right? Right. And so, we got to get those people back. And I think this is it with the movement party, with People's Party, which I actually like that name, People's Party, to be honest.
I was going to say, that'd be it. And even the little logo of the people together in different colors and different shapes, right? Like coming together, creating this whole. I thought we might have something there. And this is where I want to let the people know, from my opinion, what I'm seeing, this is our moment, because look at how much traction they gained. The fact that they had A-list celebrities and, A-list people that are here representing the progressive movement, coming together and having no fear to say, we're going to create a people's convention. So therefore, now it is time for you guys to get up. I mean, even when they had great speakers, great activists like Omar Fernandez, from the USPS. You were mentioning something about him, earlier on that. We'll get back to that really quick. Because even like Chris Smalls, who's somebody that started off, as a worker, and then, later on, in the face of adversity, became a great organizer, great leader. We even have an interview with him, so check that out on our channel. He really goes into depth on that right after his convention speech. He spoke with us. And so, I think that the representation of people who are being active is something that will inspire people to help this movement grow and realize that they have a home for what you were saying when they're like, oh, but I have nobody to vote for because they don't represent my interests. Well, check it out. This is now the place to vote for. These are the people now to vote for because they will represent your interests. Yeah.
Absolutely. For those of you that are discouraged with the political process, for those of you that say, hey, they're all the same, hopefully you can come on board, because these are definitely going to be some, different politicians that we bring on board for the People's Party. And I think having somebody like those actors and the comedians that spoke at the convention, they obviously know that we're serious, and they obviously know that we are a credible movement, that if not, they would have not put their name on it, right? And so we're serious about this, guys. Continue checking us out. We're not saying, hey, maybe don't go, just test the waters a little bit, follow us on our social media, and then, you form your own opinion. But I think as your, you have to participate in the political process. As living in the United States is not just kicking back. You have Latinos, mi gente. You have to also participate in the political process, because we are powerful. There's a lot of us. Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
There's a lot of us, and a lot of us are powerful. Heck, did you see Jerry Perez there?
Oh, I love Jerry. That's my dude.
I mean, I was even looking at the comments as it was going by, and people were just like, Jerry, Jerry, Jerry. There were some people that were there saying like, this dude is scary.
Yeah.
Yes, we need that. You know why? Because, like, man, Mitch McConnell's a scary dude. That guy has no soul. He like, his soul is so gone that he's just like this the whole time. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I don't care. I'm gonna be the Grim Reaper. Like, no, we got to show that. Like, when they have people like Trump saying you got to be strong and whatever. Well, check it out. We got leaders like Jerry Perez, who's out there saying, this will not be on my watch. The fact that I fought and got rid of my youth to come back.
Powerful.
Right? To come back and see black people getting murdered like unjustly, to be able to see like all the injustices that he mentioned. Oh man, I'm telling you, and I bet you there's thousands, if not, hundreds of thousands, maybe millions more Jerrys that are out there that I think that this convention will now wake up and they're going to start sending emails and they're going to start joining and they're going to start becoming active and those people are going to be start becoming big, and we got now the next bits of representation because we need to slay these damn dragons on that side to get them out of Congress because they're not representing us. And right now, the fact that we've seen capitalism take over so much of our democracy is gone, and I think that this is the only way, the only hope to bring us back. I mean, how much inspiring can you get from that?
For real, you're inspiring me, Chris. That's right.
No, I'm kidding.
I should have spoken at the convention. Oh, dude, Jerry's my dude, man. I shout out to Jerry. You're doing amazing. He's a hardworking dude, just making stuff happen. And that was so powerful when he said that he did sacrifice his youth, because that's more than Donald Trump can ever say. So I love that. Jerry was one of, and also I'm a little biased, but Annalise Vinton also, who's our co-host, representing for the Latino community. Man, she is just a natural and just powerful. I encourage anybody that's living in Palmdale, she could represent you. She's running for city council there. So she could be your leader. Imagine that. So get out to vote for her coming November 3rd. But yeah, Jerry had me I'm chilled, I'm already there. He already got me hooked, but I want to do more just because of him.
Yeah, and see, that's great. You have somebody like Annalise who's speaking the truth the whole entire time, bringing the positive vibe of letting you know, hey, there's so many different shades here of people that can get things done, and you put her in Congress, man, that will be a powerhouse right there. You're absolutely right. So she's got to get elected. We got to, and that was a whole part of that. Hey, elect these people, including, when we speak to people at Sunrise, everybody mentions hey, the whole part is to elect people that are going to support things like, the Green New Deal or, single payer, like Medicare for all, defunding programs that are corrupted, like the police, and being able to reform it and put more money into mental health and all the rest of it, right? I mean, it was so very comprehensive. Once again, I mean, if you have any lasting thoughts on that, share that with
you. You touched a little bit about the I think police. We just got to throw away the whole system. Throw it away, start fresh, because it's terrible. But I'm really I'm motivated even more. I hope that people got to watch it. If not, it's going to be aired again. We're going to share it too on our links here, on our platform here, because you definitely have to check it out.
Right. And even for those, it wasn't boring. It wasn't some oh, hey, we're going to go through all the science and all that kind of stuff to put you to sleep and whatever. No, I mean, there were the, great comedians, once again, even Graham Elwood that was suggesting that, imagine if anybody else were to go out there and start marketing by saying we're better than somebody else, so that's why you should buy us. He said something about oh, instead of that car, we're better than that car, so buy us. You would never see that in a commercial ever, but yet that's all that they're doing is just saying, hey, we're not Trump.
Totally. They're terrible sales people. They're terrible. And just to end it here, you did touch on Omar Fernandez that you had mentioned. I was just very moved by him. I mean, I've seen, in both our RNC conventions, I did not see anybody that looked like me. I didn't see any Latinos. It was just AOC, I think a few, a couple more. But again, People's Convention, it was everyone, every color, right? And Omar Fernandez was just so powerful in the poem that he had and just how emotional he got. And I love to see that. I love to see being you, be real. And maybe a girl also, being who they are, her being the first drag queen to be elected. Oh, I love you. I love you. That's so amazing. You were able to be yourself and you moved up and you're representing people that look like you, that act like you, that are you. I'm very proud of that. I'm proud of being part of this movement.
I mean, you said that perfectly. Totally agree. So everybody check out that movementforapeoplesparty.org to get involved, and let's make this happen. We need to abandon the ship of the Democrats. That's just my opinion on that because they have proven time and again that they do not represent us. So why should we try to represent them? So, all right, Sky, with that being said, thank you all so much for taking a look at this video. Y'all have a great one.
Have a great night, guys.
Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please tap the like, hit the bell, subscribe to us, and support us on Patreon if you want to join the cause to help us get corrupt bribes out of our nation's news media. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, this is your revolution.